it was a little bit of an accident. I looked at the YouTube, and for some reason I got drawn to look at the percentage. And this is how my guides nudge me sometimes. And then I looked at, most of them were 100%, meaning that people have actually clicked on the like. But then I noticed that there was one particular video where it wasn't like 100%, but it was like 98 or something like that. And it was just because everyone else was 100. So I was like, that's interesting. What is that? So I don't go, oh, I made a bad recording. Like, it's not really about that. It's interesting to me to see the reactions in people, because it was clearly one percentage of the demographic, let's say, that still are, first of all, we felt a lot of different things. So for the one category was of beings that like, oh, it's clickbait. that was one part of the beings, collectively, energetically. And then there was another that was still hurt. Blame in that story of blaming the person, the perpetrator, that the perpetrator did them wrong. So they are in that frequency band, looking only from there. What we are trying to invite with these videos is to move your frequency band so that you can see more of what's on the outside of what you normally don't see, which is the unseen, which is the energy, which is the human energy, which is the holistic perspective. That is one step grander in comprehension of human energy. That is what we're inviting with these teachings. All of the classes and courses are for that, to expand your awareness so that you see more. But for that, you have to actually be, if you are in the dualistic perspective, some beings fluctuate. It's not a clear-cut thing, although when you pick the scale, you will feel it. That is visceral. That I can testify. My experience there was rainbows and almost unicorn, but more from Gaia, because it was like I touched down with my soul, down, right? So that's what happened, and that has an effect on the outside. When that energy goes down much deeper in one go, and it picks the scale of your momentum. And then you are more of who you are down in these bodies, and you can tell. This is, I want you to hear this. These teachings, that if you decide to invest in any of our programs, these teachings are taking you to mastery, where we show you what to look for on the outside environment as proof that you are doing it accurately. These are highly ancient teachings about human energy. All of the yogis, all of the enlightened beings, that knowledge is coming now through a very updated lens, through this alchemical energy way of looking at your systems. So, getting back into the stream. And that's the thing, all of these different levels. Right now, we were on the body frequency level. Right? The body needed water. And what is that? Let me just bring you a little bit closer here. Let's see. So we need to include the body into it, right? And this is the discrepancy between this percent that is sort of causing a little bit of a havoc energetically, projecting. So they're sort of projecting their stuff outward, saying that it is their fault. That is the definition of what you're doing with your energy. You are blaming something else. But we're not saying that it didn't happen. We're not saying that you shouldn't take action. It is comprehending the two different sides. One is the knower, the mind and the intellect and universal truth. That is the purpose of the mind, to be connected universally, right? But then you have the experience, which is the feeler, the body's experience. And so one thing that we can tell is the beings that are upset about the narcissist and the this and the that, those beings, they are of benefit to expand their awareness, regardless of what the story is. That is the first comprehension. Comprehend what you're doing with your energy. That is first. Comprehension. Right? And once you have comprehended, stretch your imagination. Stretch your imagination and see that, before that, we are speaking of energy. Before that, we have this hang on a second. So we are giving a holistic perspective on this story of narcissistic abuse, let's call it. Because for the body, that is very real, right? But the body, if you identify with the body, you're just going to be operating there. You have to know that you're not your body. And when you actually make that energetically looser within your construct, then you don't identify so much and you don't get so angry when the beings on the outside are saying a different story than you are saying. Because that's all it is. That's all what the ego has. It has a story. Story of the victim. And this you can use for any kind of thing. Because it's not just, sometimes it's just like, the radio won't turn on. Like, like people can get crazy about stupid things, And then they project onto the radio and maybe they throw the radio onto the wall or something, right? That's proper identification. Like it's the radio's fault for the misery because it wants it to function. But it is having screwy internal energies spiking all sorts of things and creating so much havoc in their own lives, right? That is what's happening on those levels. You have to comprehend what's happening inside of you and what is actually how you are using your energy. Many beings are thinking erroneously, thinking that it's the outside. No, take a step back. You are creating your reality. So the way that you're looking at reality is going to dictate what reality you see also. And the only way you can change anything is by changing what your story is from the inside. And when you change that story, that is the bigger comprehension. That is what all of these teachings are for, to expand your comprehension so that you see more in many different areas of your life, so that you then literally upgrade your life. And your world will be different because of it. Because we are correcting you to energetic truth, so that you operate your body and you see this reality accurately, so that you can properly manage your system. So that you can see that this person, although yes, we need to take action on the human level. So it's absolutely key. Just because we're saying that, oh, from a higher level, from the holistic level, that person was actually something you needed. That narcissist had a quality that you needed, that you projected onto it. So you also created the narcissist. And for as much as you are still believing that it is that narcissist's fault, you are going to create and recreate havoc in your own life. Regardless of what it is that you're projecting onto. We have to get clear on how we're using our energy, right? And so realize that, I'm judging this because I haven't developed the stamina to speak up for myself in challenging situations, let's say. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I acknowledge that. Yes. Wow. Beautiful, right? When you see the truth. But that doesn't mean that we would disregard the body. Because from the body, we're still feeling that that person has got no freaking clue how to deal with their own energy. And so we need to take steps to correct our own energy within that energy. And that takes some bravery. That takes some oomph. That takes a different energy than love and light, right? It takes more oomph. It takes more warrior-like energy. But that doesn't mean that you're fighting. But it's still the same energy, but you can use it for good. Alchemy, alchemize everything. Seeing the holistic perspective is alchemy. Because your entire world will change. This is Jesus, by the way. I felt like I was going to say that at some point. But it didn't happen. He just took over. So... So when you see things from the holistic perspective, that is what the Course in Miracles teaches you. That is also part of the teaching, of this teaching. But it is bringing it more practical, so that you truly get how it is to change your life. Because you can only change your life by changing the inside and how you see this reality completely. And so what we are assisting with is installing literally a different operating system within the consciousness that will align your system more with truth and create miracles in your life. That is what this is. That is the reason why it is called A Course in Miracles. Because when you have the correct perception energetically, miracles will happen. And miracles do happen. These are called manifestations now, in this modern day and age. Miracles are manifestations, but they can be more and more rapid. But for that, you need to be in energetic truth, which is what we are providing here. All of the classes and courses that we are providing are to elevate into this holistic way of being, updated to the times with technology, AI, and all of this other in these new times. It is highly needed so that you truly get to claim your sovereignty from anything external, and you get to live your own life on your own terms, using your own energy correctly with the outside. That's what we wanted to share for this one. We wish you so much blessings. You are wonderful beings. You are capable of so much. You are capable of uplifting every single energy molecule of your electromagnetic field. You can work within this field in this way so that you are enhancing your blessings, enhancing your joy, enhancing your creativity, enhancing that pure essence that is you, flowing through your own being in harmony, completely connected to us. We are the Ascended Masters with Jesus as well, and we're wishing you a wonderful day. Blessed beings. That was something. Wow. Oh. I felt like the first I was speaking, and then Jesus just took over, and I thought I was gonna introduce him or something. I have called him in, but I didn't introduce him in a proper way. But he just came in, and then he reminded me, and then he said goodbye, and then the Ascended Masters came through, the collective of the Ascended Masters. I didn't get a very particular energy. It's just like the collective of Ascended Masters, which is the collective of this human energy upgraded that we are being asked to step into. It is literally all of the energy of Gaia. They are assisting and getting us to embody this right now. Oh, this is so exciting. This is so exciting. This is so beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for all your donations, and thank you so much for all your comments, and thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for honoring your light, your blessed being. We love you.